Hey everyone, and Happy New Year from everyone here at Lab Padre. We want to thank you all, whether you've been with us since the beginning or joined somewhere along the way. Thanks to you, the Starbase community, we've grown to over 250,000 subscribers on YouTube since starting almost 7 years ago. Now, we've been working to bring you 24/7 coverage of Starbase, as well as producing 199 weekly spaceflight update videos each and every week, which have amassed over 8 million views and channel-wide over 200 million views. Now, today we have something truly special to announce to the world. It's something that we've been hard at work on behind the scenes, making sure it's ready for all of you. Today, we're going to debut episode 200 of our weekly update series, which is a very special episode that we hope you'll love. But before we get into that, there's a few other surprises that we have for you. Now, I know you're all eager to find out what it is that we've been working on, what the title of the video means, and what this is all about. And to answer those questions, I'm going to hand you over to Caden to tell you more.
Thanks, Lab. Whether it's rocket launches, vehicle construction, commentary, or mission coverage, we here at Lab Padre know what space fans love. And that's why we're proud to announce our first initiative of 2026, providing you, the viewers, the best seat in the house for all things live space coverage. Over the next year, we'll be focusing heavily on ramping up the quality and quantity of our live streams so you never miss a thing. With expert commentary, informative breakdowns, and state-of-the-art graphics, it is our goal to become the best way to watch. Next up, we got a new website, folks, and it has a whole lot more. From news articles to information on upcoming launches to the live video that you've come to know and love, you'll be in the know like never before. And now, you can take space with you wherever you go with our new, revamped online shop. This year, we're excited to bring you brand new merchandise, starting with our new mug, hats, and clothing options, perfect for a late holiday gift. We're always looking to churn out new ideas as well, so keep an eye out for more drops in the coming months. Now, we know that being in the know is what's most important to you, and that's why this year we are committed to bringing you all the breaking space news the moment it happens. As our team continues to grow, you can expect more and more updates to be posted on social media on top of the weekly updates you've seen already. Whether it's short-form update videos, breaking news, or a variety of articles from that fancy new website, make sure you stay tuned so you never miss a thing. Over the years, you've come to love our Just the Facts reporting, and you can continue to count on just that. But starting this year, we want to go even further, to do our part in inspiring the next generation of space enthusiasts by focusing on how we deliver our content, and to make it accessible for newcomers and space veterans alike. You can expect the format of our content to grow and evolve in the near future, with the addition of contextual graphics, informative breakdowns, and much more as we work towards bringing you the best in space news. And you won't have to wait long to hear more about a new and exciting project that members from the Starbase community have been hard at work on behind the scenes. Trust me, you're gonna love it. And speaking of Starbase, you have also come to know us as a one-stop shop for just about everything Starship. And we're proud to have been delivering 24/7 coverage of SpaceX's most ambitious program since its early days with Starhopper and Mark 1. We've come so far, and our plan going forward is to not only continue that legacy, but expand our operations far beyond the shores of South Texas. That's right, you can expect us to bring you live coverage of all the goings-on in the spaceflight world from coast to coast here in the States, to international launches, and more soon to come. And all of that, believe it or not, is just the start. While today's announcements mark a very important milestone for us, this really is just the first step and a small taste of what's to come. In the coming weeks and months, you can expect a shift in our content as we work towards bringing all these new initiatives online and building the foundation for even more ambitious endeavors going forward. Our productions will continue to grow and evolve into what we truly believe will be the next frontier of space news, all the while strengthening that same sense of community that we have always kept as a top priority. This new era all begins with episode 200 of our weekly update series, but before we get to that, we do have one more thing.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're on top of the Sapphire condominiums this afternoon, checking out the camera, making sure all the nuts and bolts are tight.
Oh, wow, dude, look at that thing! Oh, bro! Woo!
All right, guys, we're at the back of the iron hinge. Not a whole lot of work going on today. We got a few workers in the cranes, a few welders working on the shielding up there.
If the spaceflight community could be summed up in just one word, we believe that word would be Avid. And it is our goal to reflect that in everything we do, by inspiring, educating, and supporting a growing community for years to come. With all the new things that we've revealed today, we felt it was only right to include them under a new banner, and that's why today we're excited to finally reveal Avid Space to the world. And before you ask, Lab Padre will still exist as the ground operations at Starbase and Cape Canaveral, while Avid Space fulfills a larger role, encompassing our broader mission to cover spaceflight developments worldwide and bring them right to your screen. Look out for our channel name to change here on YouTube as well as on our other social media platforms in the coming days. We'll have more to share as time goes on, but for now, we want to thank you for supporting us along our journey, and we hope you'll join us for this exciting new chapter. And to wrap things up, grab your popcorn and settle in, because it's time for episode 200 of our weekly updates. Howdy, howdy everyone, and welcome to the 200th weekly spaceflight update here on the channel. This past week, the spaceflight industry slowed down quite a bit due to the holidays, but we do still have some exciting stories to cover, as well as a question to pose ourselves, that being when exactly we think SpaceX are going to pull off this first flight of the Block 3 Starship this year. We'll answer that question later on in the video, so stick around, but first, let's get into our updates. Kicking things off this week at Starbase with our fabrication updates, on Sunday, workers were seen installing flexible cryogenic hoses on the ship quick disconnect arm at the Sanchez site. With these lines going on now, it's looking like this thing could be ready for rollout to Pad 2 in the near future. Over at the build site, scaffolding was set up around Ship 39 inside of Mega Bay 2 as SpaceX continues to prepare the first Block 3 Starship for testing and launch early this year. Now, we aren't entirely sure why this scaffolding is up, but it could indicate that Ship 39 is about to have its entire heat shield replaced. Which sounds scary, but remember, this is not the first time SpaceX has done this. It's all part of the long process of doing all the preparations they can for a test flight. And at the Gigabay construction site, even the holidays couldn't stop the progress on this building. The East Tower crane became the third of the 4 cranes to have a growth spurt, as several sections were added to the mast. Then they raised the cab and the boom to the same level as the North and West cranes. One of the beams that hold and transfer new sections to the mast when the tower cranes are being raised was loaded onto a truck on Friday for relocation of some sort. Later on Friday, the final tower crane began its own climbing process as its cab was jacked up and new mast sections were added. Down Highway 4 at the launch complex, 2 different loads of new fortified vaporizers were delivered for installation in the tank farm as SpaceX continues work on the upgraded farm that will serve both launch pads. On Sunday, we saw a lot of venting from the Pad 2 side of the tank farm as SpaceX works to ensure that the infrastructure is ready for booster testing and launch in the near future. On Monday, a couple loads of COPVs, that's composite overwrapped pressure vessels, were moved out of the build site and taken to the Massey's outpost. A day and a half later, they were returned and taken into Mega Bay 2, which seems to indicate that SpaceX is now using Massey's to perform validation testing on COPVs before they install them on the ships and the boosters. Speaking of Massey's, the new truss structure being assembled over there at the ship's static fire station continued to grow this week, and we still haven't heard anything from SpaceX on what purpose it might serve, but hopefully it'll become clearer as they keep building it. Overnight Monday into Tuesday, a new 2-ring test article was rolled out of the build site and up Highway 4 to Massey's. This new section is a ship aft section topped with a can crusher interface. On Friday, it was lifted and placed on top of the Booster 18.3 test article. And with these 2 articles joined together, SpaceX will now be able to do structural testing of the staging interface between the Block 3 ship and booster. On the afternoon of New Year's Eve, SpaceX's launch site crawler crane was moved to Pad 2, potentially in anticipation of the rollout and lift of the extension for the tower's ship quick disconnect arm in the coming days. And of course, that night, fireworks decorated the Gulf Coast skyline, starting 2026 with a bang. The right kind of bang, that is. And with this new year, we have a lot of new hopes and expectations for the Starship program as Block 3 testing picks up and we look towards Flight 12. Following the rapid stacking of Booster 19, we could see this booster roll out to Massey's later this month to begin its testing campaign. And if all of that goes well, unlike the last booster, hopefully we'll see it on the Pad 2 launch mount in February for more thorough testing of the infrastructure and eventually the first static fire of the new pad. As I mentioned earlier, the new scaffolding around Ship 39 could indicate that it might undergo some tile rework or even a heat shield replacement prior to its testing campaign. This could just be SpaceX being extra thorough on the TPS while waiting for the new structure at Massey's to be completed, or it could be increased quality control procedures. We don't really know. That being said, it does seem likely that Ship 39's testing campaign should be able to keep pace with Booster 19's, leading to the first static fire at the upgraded flame trench at Massey's sometime in February. All of this is to say that if all goes well, I think March seems like a realistic expectation for us to see Starship get back to the skies for Flight 12. But as always, this is SpaceX. They do have a habit of surprising us, so we'll see. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Now, switching over to this week's Falcon 9 activity, you won't believe it, but there was only one launch. On Friday evening, SpaceX had their first launch of the year, where Booster 1081 lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base. It launched a new Earth observation satellite for the Cosmos SkyMed constellation on its way to sun-synchronous orbit, and just a few minutes later, the booster touched back down at Landing Zone 4 to await refurbishment ahead of its next mission. The rest of the spaceflight world also had a fairly quiet week with only a few items of note. The United Launch Alliance posted that their Vulcan rocket for the USSF-87 mission is now in their vertical integration facility as they prepare for the rocket's second national security mission in the coming weeks. Hopefully, we'll see quite a few more Vulcan flights this year compared to last year. NASA shared that we are less than 2 weeks away from the rollout of SLS for the Artemis II mission. Once at the pad, the rocket will undergo testing to ensure that it and the upgraded ground systems at Launch Complex 39B are ready for launch. If all that goes well, we could see Artemis II take to the skies as early as February 6th for the first crewed lunar mission in over 50 years. And finally, looking towards space safety, SpaceX announced that they are beginning a major reconfiguration of the Starlink constellation, possibly as a direct result of the satellite failure that we saw last month. Throughout the year, SpaceX will lower the orbits of the satellites in the 550-kilometer shell by about 70 kilometers. This will condense the constellation and lower the ballistic decay time from over 4 years to just a few months. There is also less debris at those altitudes, resulting in a lower chance overall of collisions. And with that, we conclude this relatively quiet but still exciting 200th spaceflight update. If you like what you see, make sure to click all those fancy schmancy buttons right there and stick around. Till next time, thank you to all of our supporters as usual, and I will see you next week. This is Caden, signing off.